Alrighty, hello everybody. So, today we are going to start a little mini-series of doing some RNG tutorials for Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. I saw a post on Reddit a couple weeks ago of somebody asking for some help with more updated tutorials because all of the ones they were finding were pretty old. And that is a pretty fair statement. I went back. My first instinct was to recommend various tutorials by RNG, gamer god, I'm a blisy, but a lot of their tutorials for Ruby and Sapphire are quite old. And PokeFinder has changed a lot over the years, and a lot of the menus look different, and boxes are named different things, and are in different spots, or have been combined, or separated, or yada yada yada. So I figured I would take it upon myself to kind of make a handful of updated tutorials. And if they do well, I might make some for some of the other games as well. So far, I have 3 in mind for Ruby and Sapphire. I'm going to do this one is going to be how to do a trainer ID and secret ID at the start of the game, and also get a shiny starter at the same time. And then we are going to do one for wild RNG, and we are going to do another one for legendaries. The starter and the legendary process are pretty similar, but there are some slight variations, and I can never have too many shiny Groudons, so I will be using it as another excuse to RNG him again. So, let's go ahead and put up on screen here. We are going to be doing 2 different secret IDs in this same video. Just to kind of give a couple different options for various different people looking for things. I'm going to do a physical attack ID that gives a pretty early frame 25 plus attack and speed adamant nature. And then I'm going to do another one for pretty much the same except for special attack. So we're going to do 25 plus special attack and speed modest nature. So that will give a couple of different options for people to go for different choices. The adamant one will also work in the wild as well on very few things. We'll get into some of the more nitty-gritty bits of it in a little while, but for now, we are going to go ahead and start with the most important step, which is picking the targets. So I have already done that, but I'm going to go over the kind of process of how I go about finding what secret ID I want to end up using for what targets. So we're going to switch over to a different screen setting. Sadly, I don't really have a whole lot of room for Chip-Boy on the other screen, so he's going to go away for a minute, but he'll come back when we come back to this screen in a little while. So let's switch over to this one. Here we have, which one is this? Is this static or that's wild? Okay. So I guess we'll do the special attack ID first. So what we want to do for finding our good ID for a special attack. Oh, you know what? Before I get too far into it, I do want to make sure should have said this already. There are 2 different programs, kind of 1.5 programs that you're going to need for this. This one is PokeFinder, and it has various different windows. Let's actually go back over to the other screen for a second, because I meant to say, we're going to click this button. Oh, you can't see the mouse. Oh, there we go. We're going to click this button here, and that's going to bring us over to the other window. So both PokeFinder and EonTimer will be linked down below. EonTimer does also have a web version, so that way you can do things just on a browser, which works on a phone. I kind of prefer the download version because I'm used to it, but they're pretty much the same thing. If you're having issues with one, try the other if you can. But yeah, anywho. Both of those are going to be linked down below. I'm also going to link, for all 3 videos, I'm going to link Blissy's old video as well, if you want to go and check that out for whatever reason as well. So that will also be in the description. But anywho, we're going to go back to the other screen. To get to that other window, you're going to want to open up PokeFinder here, which is this one. This little window is what will open when you just click the PokeFinder app for the first time. And we're going to want to click this one here, Wild. That is going to bring us to this screen. And before we do anything else, you're going to want to click this button, Manager. That is going to bring up this screen right here. If you're doing this for the first time, it will be completely empty. This is just, I've done this a bunch before, so I have a bunch of other profiles already made. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to click New. This is the other big and that is going to bring up this menu, third menu. Ooh, excuse me. This is the other very important step for Ruby and Sapphire. You want to have a dead battery. If you don't have a dead battery, you're kind of gonna have a rough time. To the point where I genuinely don't know how to do live battery RNG. That's like a whole different can of worms. We're not getting into that today. That is too out of my knowledge range. So this is going to be for Ruby and Sapphire only, and you need a dead battery. I might do separate. Oh, I've clicked on this, and it's brought a pop-up of all the other Generation 3 games that won't show up. I might do another section of guides for Emerald. Emerald is slightly different. It has very similar issues to Ruby Sapphire, but just slightly different. But anywho, let's go about making the actual profile. So you can go ahead and put in whatever name you want. We're gonna end up using just kind of like the generic names for myself, just to kind of make the tutorial go a little quicker. But I'm pretty sure there is enough time that you should be able to type your own name in before you run out of time. So anywho, let's go ahead and I'm gonna call this Test 1, because we'll make this one the physical one. Or actually, I'll call it Test Attack, and we'll call the other one Test Special Attack. And for now, we're just going to put 1, 1. We're going to click OK. Whoa. I'm going to close both of these, and we're going to close that. And then up here, under this profile dropdown, it brings up a whole big dropdown. You can't see the rest of them. Just make sure that you've selected the profile that you just made. Again, if you're doing this for the first time, it'll be the only profile there, which obviously as well, I just want to make sure that it is obvious. If you only want one of these two starters, or say you want Mudkip with one of the other ones, if you only want one starter, you don't need to do this twice. I'm only doing it twice because I'm going to use one profile for one follow-up tutorial, and I'm going to use the other one for a separate follow-up tutorial. So that's why I'm doing 2. It's kind of silly to do 2 if you're not doing something like that. Unless you want to just get all 3 different starters, then that is very possible as well. Anywho, so now we're going to go here to Route 102, because this is where Ralts spawns, right? And this is why... there's a drop down here as well. If I click this, it's a drop down of all of the different spawns in this area. So Zigzagoon, Wurmple, C-Dot, where I'm playing Ruby. If you're playing Sapphire, it would be Lotad, Poochyena, Ralts, and then Surskit. And then obviously, if you were playing Emerald, you'd have Lotad and C-Dot at the same time instead of Surskit. Which, before we do anything else, we want to look at this section right here. This section here, we want to go ahead and make sure that this is on Wild 1. It should be. Wild, I've never really seen Wild 2 or 4, which are the other options in this dropdown. I've never really seen those pop up in Ruby Sapphire. If you were doing Emerald, you would want to do Wild 2, but we'll get to that in a separate tutorial for Emerald. This will auto-populate if you select Dead Battery, but that is because normally when you start the game, it will pick a random seed and go from there, and all of the different Pokemon generated will be different because the seed is different every time, so the starting point is different, so it just generates a bunch of different ones. If you have a dead battery, however, your seed is always the same. So that's why if you've ever tried to like soft reset for something in Ruby Sapphire, you might notice that if you're too precise with your button presses, you just keep hitting literally the same Pokemon over and over again. That's because you probably have a dead battery and your seed is the same, so you are just accidentally RNG manipulating a Pokemon you don't actually want. But so anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to select Ralts from this dropdown. that will auto change this to encounter slot 9, and we're not going to select shiny right now. I'm going to change the nature to modest, and we're going to change this here on special attack filter. We're going to change this to 25, and we're going to change the speed to 25, and we're going to click generate. And that is going to give this list of various different encounters. So we can see this one has pretty good stats. 23, the 26 attack isn't super important. Both of this defenses are non-existent, but 30 and 30 in special attack and speed, pretty good. This one's also not bad. 30 attack, 31 defense, 29, 27. Synchronize versus Trace, they're both fairly solid abilities. Synchronize doesn't have its out-of-battle effect in Ruby Sapphire, but it does if you trade it over to Emerald or forward up. So I think I want to go for this one. I think this is the one I wanted to go for, not the other one. I can't quite remember. Let me double... Oh, no, we'll figure it out together. We'll see how to check this together. So we're going to select this PID section right here, and we're going to copy this. So I'm going to Control-C, and now we're going to switch back over to the other window. So welcome back, Chip Boy. And now, on the PokeFinder main window here, you're going to click this IDs button, and that's going to bring up this window. So we want to click RS for Ruby Sapphire. You want to click dead battery because we have a dead battery, and you want to click this PID button right here, and in this box you want to paste in the PID we copied from the other window, and you're going to click generate. So we're going to go for this one instead. This one should give us enough time. What we're going to do is we're going to take this advances right here, and we're going to put that in here. I've already gone ahead and done that. So go ahead and take that and put that right here. And that is going to, and you're going to want to set this pre-timer to 5,000 and calibration to 0. This we won't change. This will potentially change as we go. And then this will not change. Oh, wait, no. Actually, I just remembered a very, very important step that I almost forgot. Right, so there's actually another little step that we need to do first that I almost forgot that is very, very important. So there are 75 frames in between selecting A to start the save file and generate our ID and when it is actually generated. So we want to take the number that we're aiming for. So in this case, 4188, and we want to subtract 75 from it. So that would have been even shorter on that other one. So we actually want to aim for 411. This should still be enough time, but this is a very important step that I almost forgot. So definitely make sure you remember to do this, or else you're going to be quite off. So we can go ahead and get that out of here now. Oh, excuse me. And yeah, so now what we're going to do, we're going to take this... keep this, it's going to be kind of hard to, whoa. It's going to be a little hard to see properly because I have these things on two different windows, but keep note of these TID and SID that it's telling you that you are going to get. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back over to the other screen, and we're going to go to our thing, which I realized I actually want this to say test special attack, and we're going to change the TID and SID in here to what the other screen said they would end up being. So that is 51917 and 48278. Click OK. And that's going to update. Oh, whoops, I forgot to have these open. So yeah, we want to change this from 1.1 to what it said it was going to be in the other screen. Totally forgot to bring this back up. But yeah, you just go back to Profile Manager, click on this one, click Edit, and then that will bring up the other screen again. Whoops, this one. Why it's looking like that. What is Either way, that brings up the other little screen again, and you can just change the ID and SID that you put in. So yeah, let's get those out of here. And now, if we select back onto Route 102, and go ahead and deselect your IV filters and change your nature filter back to nothing. Like, don't filter any nature. And then if you click star square and click generate, you'll see this is the list of every shiny frame that you have on this route. So here is our shiny Ralts that we are going for. Very, very good. And then if we switch over to the static window instead, which looks very similar but is different, which to get to this one, we'll pop back. Whoa, not that one. Got a little peek behind the camera for a second there. If we pop back over to this one, you get to the static screen with this button right here. Yeah, so this will also change right here, and if we go ahead and filter Treecko, star square as well, we'll see our same modest frame pops up over here. This is the same one that we have for the Ralts. Right there is same. It's a little bit of a different frame, but is all the same stats and nature combo. So now we gotta actually finally start. It's been like 20 minutes of yapping, and it's time to finally start. Let's hop back over to this screen. Let's go ahead and pop this up. And so, here's what we're going to do. This open as well. And we got this open. And now what we need to do is it's time to start actually going for what we are, or trying to get to this TID SID combo. So we're going to select TID on this screen instead. Don't put anything in here yet, but we will momentarily. And so now, over here on EonTimer, we have our frame in, we have our pre-timer set. So now what we're going to do is we're going to click start, and it's going to start ticking, or this timer, this is a 5-second timer, that's what the pre-timer is going to start ticking down. And at about 2-ish seconds, you'll start hearing some beeps. Oh, other very important thing as well. Let me make sure that you go ahead, and if you click the little cog on EonTimer right here, that will bring up this settings window. Make sure you go over to timer and you select your console. So if you're doing this on, there's a drop down here that you can't see. But if you're doing this on a Game Boy Advance, select GBA. And if you're doing this on a DS Lite, with the Game Boy cartridge in the bottom, select this NDS slot 2. But I'm doing it on a GBA, so I'm going to have it on that setting. Okay, and go away. Okay, cool. So now we're going to click start, and EonTimer is going to start ticking down. And once it starts beeping, I'm going to dial in, and I like to kind of under my breath count down. There'll be 6 beeps. I like to personally, everybody does their own way. Personally, I like to, on the first beep, get myself ready for the second one, and then start counting from 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on the 6th beep, hit the button, whatever said button will be. That's my personal method. If that doesn't necessarily work for you, that's fine. Everybody does their counting differently, but I just noticed that personally, if I put too much time into thinking about the 6th beep, then I, like, hit the button a little too late, so I personally just count 2, 3, 4, 5 button press. So this first button press is going to be a soft reset. Soft reset on the Game Boy by hitting select, start, and A and B all at the same time. And that will start the game over without actually shutting the whole thing off. So we're going to start this, and we're going to get ready to do a soft reset. And then, one other very important thing. We are going to be doing this into a new save file. So this save file that I have here is going to be deleted. That is fine. This was a test save file for practicing this on. One thing you want to make sure that you do, though, is make sure that you have a save file ready. Even if you're getting ready to do this for the first time, make a save file real quick. Even if you just save in the truck, set your text speed to fast. That will help you so much if you're trying to do this for the first time. Make sure your text speed is set to fast. You will thank me in the long run. Anywho, let's get on with it. So I'm going to click start, and I'm going to get ready to do a reset once this timer goes down. Oh, you guys can't hear the EonTimer beeps. Okay. Here we go. And so now that we have reset, we are going to try to rush through the start of the game as quickly as possible. So you want to get to new game, and we want to mash through this. I don't actually know if we do have a whole lot of time to type a name, but if you want to use a custom name, I'm sorry, you might need to try a different, combo, because this one is a little quick. So we want to rush through this. For this first TID, I will go ahead and we're just going to select male, and we'll select the auto-generated name. And you want to wait on this screen. I'll be expecting you in the lab. And then EonTimer is going to start beeping again once this timer gets close to ending. And on this final beep, you want to go ahead and press A again. So we're going to go ahead and wait for that. And A on the last beep. And it is going to go ahead and load us into a new game. We're in the back of the truck. A little hard to see on my Game Boy screen, but see it well enough. Eventually, the truck door will open, and before you do anything at all, immediately look at your trainer ID, and we want to look at what we got. So it's a little hard to see. We got 53121. We're aiming for 51917. So we're going to click back onto here. I'm going to type in the one we got, 53121. And we're going to click generate. Now that is going to change this to see where we actually hit. And so now this is where the calculator is going to come back out. Let's actually open that back up and let's add Larry back up. So we hit 4174, aiming for 4188. So we want to take the 4174, and we're going to subtract 75 from that, just like we did with the last one. We're going to see we hit 4099. So that we are going to go ahead and take and put into this frame hit on EonTimer. We're going to type in 4099. We're going to click up. And so now we're going to go ahead and just do it over again. Same thing, just completely from square one again. So we're going to start this, and we're going to reset, and we're going to do the whole thing over. And it will take you a handful of tries. Do not expect to get it on the first try at all. Get that idea completely out of your head right away. It will almost never happen on the first try. A lot of times you might hear people say first try after calibration is first try. So if I were to get it on this attempt, I would count that as the proper first try. So we're just going to do the same thing again. Male, I'm just going to pick Landon to make it quick. There should be enough time that you might be able to type a custom name, especially if it's a short one. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and get right back to this screen, and we're going to wait again. This is where the fast text speed comes in handy, because that will carry over to this section if you have that fast text speed already selected. Otherwise, you'll be on medium by default, and this will be a lot slower. All right, let's do it. Just go ahead and click. This is going to take a while. This is going to take me, like, all day. But hopefully it doesn't take you guys that long. It's only going to take me that long because I'm doing twice the amount of work that I really need to do. And we're going to go ahead and go into Landon again, and we're going to see. So now we hit, back to this. It's a little hard to see over the calculator. Let me just do that. There we go. And we're just going to do the same thing. So, so this time we hit 49362, 49362, and generate. Ooh. So this time I can do the quick maths. I don't need to bring that up. We were aiming for 4188 and we hit 4198. So quick maths, that's just 10 over. So I can type in here 4123 because that's, 10 more. And we'll click update and that'll bring that down a lot. This is a lot more accurate. This feels a bit better. And yeah, so we're pretty much just going to go ahead and do this over and over again. After, I would definitely give it a calibration or two at the beginning, but I'm probably not going to calibrate again for a few times. It's not good to calibrate every single time you hit the wrong frame, because you are trying to hit a 1/60th of a second button press. That is a very, very short window. Humans are not that accurate every single time and are very likely to mess up. So don't beat yourself up if it's taking a little while. Give each calibration about 3 to 4 tries, maybe 5. But the first time you do it, definitely calibrate right away. And the second time, I would say calibrate right away as well. And I'm going to go ahead and give this one more. We'll do one more try on camera. And then I'm just going to sit back and do this over and over again until we get our trainer ID correct. And then we'll go for our shiny Treecko. So one more, same process. We're just going to start. And we're going to get ready to do a soft reset. Bam. And then we're just going to mash right through the intro. If you ever accidentally load your existing save file, just stop the timer and start it again and do another reset. Just start over immediately if you ever load the wrong save. But to make it visually obvious to tell which save I'm playing on, once I do get around to doing the physical attack set, I will go for the female character. So that way, once we are doing those follow-up tutorials on the other two methods, it'll be obvious to you guys which save I'm playing on because of just character and whatever their name is. Hopefully this doesn't take me too super duper long. Probably will, especially now that I've said that out loud. Like I said, I did a practice attempt of this, and it took me about 3 hours total. It took me about an hour and a half to get the trainer ID, and then it took me about another hour and a half to get the starter. So like I said, don't expect this to be a quick one-and-done process. It will take a little. But just know, it's gonna be faster than doing Fire Red Leaf Green. Fire Red Leaf Green is a pain. I don't know if I'll get to those, I might. I've only done that once successfully. Anywho, back to the task at hand. So again, we just enter in what we got. Let's see, but it's 48278. 8278. Generate. Ooh, so see, this is what I mean. We are 1 off. We were 1 early. We're aiming for 4188, and we hit 4187. If you get this close, if you're within like 4, 5-ish frames either direction of early or late, definitely don't calibrate right away. Give it a few times. If I hit this same one like 3 or 4 times in a row, then I'm going to calibrate to this amount. But right now, I'm just going to give it another rip without adjusting anything. Don't change anything at all. Just do another one. So that is exactly what I mean about, like, don't calibrate too many times because it can mess you up. But if you do hit the same one over and over and over again, then definitely give it a calibrate. Alright, let's see. Get our way through this. But yeah, it's just, the process is pretty simple. We're just going to do this over and over again until we hit the combo that we are going for. Get right to this screen, and we're going to wait here. But yeah, once I see 51917 pop up as my TID, then I know I've hit the correct frame, and we are good to go. Super close. But yeah, hopefully we can go ahead and just get this right away. Right. Bam, and we just this. That is 10781, I think, yeah. So not quite. 10781. Great. Ooh, so see, now we were 5 early. I'm still not gonna reset. Oh, one little thing to note, too, by the way. If you aren't going for the exact same TID and SID I'm going for, that's perfectly fine. You can use the same process to just pick a different frame, just pick a different PID, and it'll give you different SID, TID combo. If you have one that, or if while you're doing this, if you ever get one that has multiple zeros at the front, so say this was 00781 instead, you would just type 781. If there's zeros at the start, you ignore them. If there's zeros in the middle or at the end, you do need to type them. But yeah, I'm going to just keep running this until I happen to get it. So I'll be back in a little while once we've finally gotten it, and then we can start working on the actual starter. Oh, shoot. So, see, this is what I mean. I accidentally loaded the existing save file instead by habit of just mashing through. Just going to stop the timer and restart immediately. Oh, and that time I totally hit the button late, so I'm just going to start over right away. If you feel that you were way off, then you probably are way off. Like, if you can tell, like, that didn't feel good, don't risk it. Just start over immediately. Yeah, so, like, this one right here, we'll go ahead and I'll show this one just so you can see. So we got 05086. We're just going to type 5086. Whoops. 5086. Generate. So this one was too late. So again, that's super close. I'm not going to bother calibrating again, but I just wanted to show that off. If you have zeros at the start like that, just ignore them. But if they're in the middle or at the end, say it was 50860, then you would need to put that in at the end. Wow, okay. That was really quick. That was literally the very next attempt after the last one that I do not expect to get it that fast. That was absolutely insane. That is solely because I've practiced this before. But anywho, once you get the one that you want, we hit the one we want. We hit 51917. That was what we were looking for. Click generate. We can see. Bam. That's the other one. This is the only other one that we could have hit this is so insanely farther later than the one that we were aiming for, and there's no other results. There is genuinely no shot that we hit this ever in a million zillion years. So this is the one we hit. That means this is our secret ID for sure. So we've hit the one we wanted. Now that you've gotten what you want, save immediately, instantaneously. This will overwrite your old save file. That's okay. That old save file was destined to be overwritten from the start. So go ahead, overwrite that immediately. Save as soon as you see that correct one. Obviously, verify that it is actually the correct one using this, just in case somehow there was one that was like really close. We probably wouldn't have gone for this one in general, but yeah, definitely verify that it's the right one. Make sure that you're not like one letter off. Make sure it's not 51916 and you got a little excited. Make sure that you hit the correct one, but as soon as you did, save. So now we are going to progress through the rest of the game up to the point where you get your starter, or can go for the starter. One little piece of advice that I will give is you have a dead battery, right? The clock will never change, right? Make sure, if you want to get SnowRun, make sure that when you set the clock at the beginning of the game here, make sure you set it to a time that is low tide in the place there, so that way you can go and get SnowRun, because you can't change it, and it won't change on its own unless you have a way to start and stop the battery. Okay, so now that we are here in front of the bag, in front of Birch, we want to go ahead and save right here. Because now we want to actually go for shiny starter. So we're going to go over to the other screen again. Chip-Boy is going to go bye-bye for the rest of the video. So bye-bye, Chip-Boy. You served us well. So we're going to go back over to this screen. What do we have up right now? Perfect. We have the static one up. Is that this one? Yes, it is. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and put in... Luckily, we happen to be going for the exact same... or, well, I guess it isn't technically the same thing. It is, but it isn't. We're going to go ahead and put in this advances again, 5188. That's kind of coincidence, but either way, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put that in now. The calibration will probably end up changing, so I'm just going to... We'll set it back to 0, and we'll end up going for a different one. We'll change it to a different one, once we need to. So I can go ahead and close that. We don't need that at all. We don't need that at all. Okay, so now pretty much same process. The only big difference is obviously how we check where we landed. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to uncheck this star square and we're going to set it back to normal. And I'm going to set the initial advances where we are going for about 4,200-ish. I'm going to just set this for 4,000. If you're feeling less comfortable with that, you could maybe go like 500 or so before. Give yourself a good leeway. I wouldn't go closer than 100 if you're not too confident, or if this is your very first time, but you can go ahead and set this initial advances relatively close to your target. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to click generate again. And we're going to click this show stats check mark. And I'm going to scroll down to 4188. That's right here. See that it's the one we're after, because in this shiny drop down it says square, which just means if you were to trade it to sword and shield, it would have the square shiny animation and not the star shiny animation. Are not sending it to sword and shield at all. It literally does not matter which these are. If you are sending it to sword and shield, oh yeah, you can't see this drop down, but there's a drop down here, star, square, and star/square. I always just do the star/square because, like I said, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, star, square, but for right now we want that on any, and yeah, this is where we are looking for. So, on the EonTimer screen, now we're pretty much just do the same thing again, except our last button press becomes this instead of the I'll see you at the lab screen. Ooh, excuse me. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to do it again. We're going to do this, same process. Except now, we do want to load the save file, obviously. We don't want to make a new save file. This is the save file that we want to do this on. So you don't go to new game, you just go into here and immediately load that up and just sit on this screen and wait for your timer to tick down. So this will take quite a bit longer because the actual process of getting to where we need to be for our last button press is a lot quicker, of just opening the game, opening the bag, and selecting what, or highlighting which one we want, as opposed to working our way through the entire intro. But so yeah, now we pretty much just do this. We'll sit here, I'll do the first couple here with you, and then if it's taken me a little while, I'll cut around it. But again, don't expect to get things too quickly if you're a complete beginner. It is, like I said, it's a small window. It's 1/60th of a second button press. So it's a very, very tight window. And it is not necessarily the easiest thing to do for everybody just starting out. Let's get ready. And then you just, same thing, hit yes on that last button press. Counter the Poochyena. We'll send out Treecko. And again, first try with calibration of 0. Do not expect to hit it. You almost certainly will not hit the one you're looking for. So we're going to go ahead and look at its summary. And we're going to look at the nature first. And so now, back here on PokeFinder, we're going to click the nature dropdown. This is where things are going to start to vary a little bit. Same with the last section. But so I'm going to go ahead and select Quirky on the nature dropdown, and I'm going to generate again. And we're going to scroll back to around the same area. So 4188. So it looks like these are the closest quirky ones. And so this is where we now go and look at the stats. So where we have the show stats selected, it is going to show the stats as they are on the screen. Whereas if you don't have this selected, it's going to show you the IV amounts, which obviously you can't just determine off a whim. You could use the IV calculator to determine them, but I think it's just easier to just click the show stats, and then we can look and see this one is 19, 11, 9, ooh, that's unfortunate, 10, and 13. So this is the exact same one, and this is only less than 10 away. This is, what, 4 away? So that's relatively close. I'm going to go ahead and calibrate just to show the example. We'll go ahead and type in what we hit. And this time, there's no math that you need to do. You just type in what you hit and click update. This will change, and now we just do it again. And now it's the same process until you get your shiny starter. And obviously, once you do get it, it'll be pretty obvious that you got it. So we'll go ahead and do another one. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, and after that, I'll just keep going until I get it. And then I will just do like a quick cut to me doing the second combo as well. And I'll make sure that I separate the video out for people who want that later TID SID combo as well. But yeah, anywho, let's get back to it. Yeah, same process. We just go ahead, open the game up. Just go here and select yes and wait. Alrighty, 10 seconds left. Let's get ready. It usually starts ticking around like 2-ish. Right. So we didn't hit it. That's okay. Whoops. Summary. Now we hit a serious one. So I'm going to go ahead and change this. We'll get rid of quirky and select serious instead. Regenerate. Go to here. So we can see that this one has 20, 10, 9, and 2 11s and 12. So we hit this one. This was 5 early. I mean, that's like pretty close. I think if I type that in, it's gonna correct us to be like, I think it's gonna set this to 17 if I do this. Yeah. I'm actually quite comfortable with this calibration. I think I will be able to hit it on this one. So I'm just gonna keep running it until we get the shiny. And there we go. I almost calibrated. I hit the same one multiple times in a row. But there we go. Shiny Treecko. It's a little hard to see, but you can tell that tail is definitely red. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. I am going to go ahead and say complete this battle. Once you obviously get the starter you want, obviously beat the Poochyena and save. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and we'll get out of this battle and save. And I will go ahead and back up the save file. And I'm gonna go ahead and reset over it again so that I can get a second save file going for the adamant spread. We are gonna do the exact same process. I'm gonna show obviously what one we're gonna go for instead. Do we want to nickname the Treecko? Sure. Let's nickname him. Let's nickname him like. Because you want to make sure that you hit that like button. Yeah, sure. We can go fight May. Sure, totally gonna do that. Anywho. But yeah, so now we got our shiny Treecko. So yeah, this is gonna give us the, we'll go for the same, pretty much the same spread on a wild encounter to get the Ralts. I'll do that probably in the next one, just because that one will be quicker to get to. I definitely should have done these to the other way around. But yeah, let me go ahead and I need to prep to do the other one now. So I'm going to end recording, take a little short break, and I will come back and do the other one in a minute, just so that way we can have that set up for the other save, and I will show you the process of maybe you don't care about a wild Pokemon, maybe you just solely want to pick based off of your starter and then other static Pokemon. So I'm going to take a short break, and I'll be back in a little bit to prep for all of that. Alrighty, so we're back for the second part of the video. This part is going to be a lot quicker, but we're still going to go kind of over things from the top, just in case people skipped to this section of the video. And for the second ID combination and weren't as interested in the first half. If you're confused about anything, if I'm not going over things in enough detail in this section, go back and try to watch the first part of it anyway, and just try to piece together what I'm talking about if you need a little bit of extra explanation, because I am going to try to fly through this. So now we're going to go ahead. First thing first, always new profile. Let me go ahead and these. You're going to click the manager button on the main PokeFinder window. That'll bring up profile manager. Go ahead and click new, and that'll bring up this screen. Go ahead and click dead battery. Select Ruby or Sapphire. That is all we're going over here today. Name the profile whatever you want. I'm going to call it test attack because the other one's special attack. For now, we're going to go ahead and just set the IDs to 1-1 because they don't matter right now. Next, we can go ahead and get rid of both of those. We'll be back on this menu. Go ahead and make sure you're on your new thing. So this is what we want. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to set this to Legends. It doesn't really matter when you're going for statics like this. They'll all be the same. You guys can't see this. So we got starters, fossils, statics, or stationary, gifts, legends, and roamers. We're going to do legends. They don't really matter. They're all the same. So that's why I will be able to do a starter as well. But so I'm going to set this to Groudon. This will list all of the different legendaries. It lists Latias here because I'm playing Ruby and because that's the one on Southern Island. But anywho, we really want this for Groudon. So I'm going to set it to Groudon. We're going to ignore the shiny setting for now. We're going to leave it on any. We're going to select our nature. So I want an adamant one. We're going to do 25 and 25. The reason I was doing 25 and 25 as opposed to, oh, and we can set this back to 0 as well. The reason I do 25 and 25 and not like 30s or 31s is where we only have one seed option. There aren't a whole lot of good choices for really good ones. Oh, and we want to unclick show stats so we can look at the actual IVs. This one's not too bad. That's like really early. There's some not that bad ones. What else? This one's not that bad. This one has high special defense as well. The regular defense and HP are not that great. This one has max attack. Let's do this one. This one's not bad. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take this PID, and we're going to copy that. Go back over to the other window. Bada boom. We're going to go to the IDs section here. IDs right here, and that'll bring this up. We're going to not do TID. We're going to do PID. And we're going to paste that PID that we copied a minute ago. And we're going to go ahead and click generate. That'll give us our big list of things. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go for this one. We would put this into the timer right here. So now normally we would want to have this calibration be 0. However, I personally know from the last one where I just did this, I happened to hit this with a calibration of 67. So I'm going to put it to that for me. For you, I would recommend starting at 0. And if you're struggling, go back and watch the earlier section of the video to kind of try to understand that a little bit more. So now we're going to go ahead and open up our regular calculator. Where's that? There we go. We're going to take this number here that we are going for, 4309, and we're going to subtract 75. That is because there are 75 frames in between selecting or like starting the save file and the TID actually generating. So we want to aim early so that we line that up in the end. And we're going to put this in here. So 4234. And now we are going to hit start. I'm going to start and stop immediately, but we're going to hit start. That's going to start counting down. And once this hits 0, we're going to do a soft reset. So we're going to do this. There we go, soft reset. And now we want to make a new save file. Okay. And to make it easier to tell which save file I am on, I'm going to select female on this one instead of male. And then when we go to do the follow-up tutorials, you'll be easy to tell which save file I'm on, just based off of my character gender. Sure, I guess we're going to be Terra. I genuinely did not know what the default name was for the female option. Alright. Wait on this screen. Well, I'll be expecting you later. Come see me in my Pokemon lab. And then once this second timer stops counting down, we go ahead and hit A again. And we're looking for the TID 17597. So we're going to put that in. We're going to switch back over to the other screen in just a second, too, just because I want to show something else off or I want to write that down somewhere, and I want to just, again, show off for anyone that may have skipped the first part of it, show off where you want to go to do that. We want to just go and look at this. That's the wrong one, but I want to go ahead and we want to keep note of this. We want to keep note of this, 17597 in our secret ID 62086. We're going to go back over to the other one. Bam. And let me both of these ahead of time. Oh, wait. I guess not. Let me not do that ahead of time. We're going to open the manager. That'll bring this up. And we're going to scroll down to this one. This is one we're editing right now. So I'm going to click edit. Wrong one. There we go. That'll bring this up. And we want to put that other, we want to put that TID and secret ID in here. We're going for 17597. and 62086. Click OK. That one will go away. And now we're going to click done. That one can go away. And now we are going to go ahead and select back to Groudon. I'm going to uncheck this. We're going to get rid of both of those. And I'm going to set this to star square. And we're going to go ahead and click generate. And now this is all of the different shiny Groudons that we'll be able to get. Oh, and I'm on the wrong one. We want to make sure that we're on the right one. Our attack secret ID, not the special attack one. There we go. Generate again. There we go. Here's our Adamant Groudon. And then some other shinies that we'll be able to go for as well. Now we're going to go ahead and determine where we landed. Oh, let's go ahead and switch back to this one. We want to determine where we landed. So we're going to go ahead and change from PID to TID. And we're going to type in the one we hit. 12926. And generate. We were 2 off. We were aiming for 4309 and we hit 4307. You would obviously subtract 75 from that. Oh, whoops, I did not that one. We'd want to go ahead and subtract 75 from that, or really you can just subtract 2 from this. And if I was going to calibrate, I would put in 4232 and update. But with only 2 off and I know a calibration that's going to allow me to hit it, I'm just going to keep running this until we get our 17597. So yeah, I'll be back in a few once we've gotten our correct ID. And there we go. Whew. Okay, cool. 17597. I was starting to get a little bit irritated. It took me a little bit longer to do this one than it did the other one. But either way, as soon as you get the one you want, save immediately. Or well, actually, I guess double check. Because yeah. Triple check. 17597. Boom. 309. This one, super insanely late. No way in hell we hit that one. So, cool. We hit the right one. Save. That'll erase the other file. That's okay. Like I said, I made a backup of that one. So I can get it back. Don't worry about it. But yeah, now I'll be back when it's time to do the starter. One thing, again, real quick. I said this for the last one as well. I'll say it again if people skipped it. Where your battery is dead, if you want to be able to catch a snow run, make sure that you set your time to a time that it is low tide in Shoal Cave. Go ahead and look that up. I'm not going to bother putting that in. Sorry. You can look that up. But yeah, make sure that you set that if you want to catch a snow run. Anywho, I'll be back when it's time to do the starter. Okay, and so here we are, back here. Same process again that we did last time. We're going to go ahead and save right here in front of the bag. Nice, let's go ahead and switch over to screen. And we are... Is that now? And we will have... You'll notice as soon as I click starters and set this over to Torchic, nothing really changes. So we're going to go for this one. I click show stats so we can see what we are looking for. We're looking for 20, 13, and then all 10s. All right. So we're going to go ahead and change this, 439. Now, normally, you would want to set this calibration to 0 and start from there. Again, though, similar to the last one where I just did this and just got one, I know that I got it on calibration 17. So me, personally, I'm going to do it on that. Again, if you want more information, check earlier in the video. Anywho, so now we're just going to go ahead and do the same process. We've saved here, so we're going to go ahead and do this. Restart. And now, obviously, we have our save file. You don't need to start another new one, because what's the point? You want to actually get your starter. So you're going to go into here. We're going to select this. We're going to highlight this. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. And we'll be back once this timer's up. And once this timer's up, you'll just hit A on yes. And hopefully get a yellow chicken. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. I'm going to keep this going until we get this yellow chicken. And then I will pretty much wrap up this tutorial. And I will probably back up this save file and put the other one back on because we will use that one to do a Ralts tutorial as well. I haven't quite decided exactly when I want to release these videos, so I'm not going to necessarily say when that other one will come out. I don't know how far apart I want to space them, but we will do the Ralts video next and then Groudon last. And that's mostly because I'm going to need to play through pretty much the entirety of this save file to get to the point where we can do Groudon. Okay. Didn't get it. That's fine. Oh, wait. Already in battle. It is an adamant one, though. So we're going to uncheck that. I'm going to set this to 4100. I like to go about 200-ish early. And we're just going to hit generate. Scroll to 4309. Whoops. So 4309 is this one. So we did hit a different adamant one. It does look like there are a few around with show stats on. I'm going to switch over to this screen. So we had 12-9 and then all 10s. So probably hit this one, which is actually quite a bit late. A little surprised. Normally I would probably calibrate if I was this far off, but I'm not going to, solely because I know that I can hit it with this because of the previous attempt. But normally if you're like that far off, I would go ahead and calibrate. You just take this 4315, put that in here, and then click update and it would change your calibration. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep using this one and keep going until I get that yellow chicken. And there we have it. Even faster than the last one. I keep getting better and better at this. But there we go. Adamant, shiny, Torchic. As you can see, 20, 13, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, all 10s. But yeah, that's about it. That is pretty much how it goes. I showed you two different specific IDs. One that gives you good access to a few special attackers, and one that will give you a good access to some physical attackers. So hopefully everybody is able to get what they want out of it. But yeah, if you enjoyed, definitely make sure to go ahead and leave big like, lots of support. I know this was kind of a longer video, and I'm going to try to trim it down as best I can in editing. But yeah, I think it's only fitting. We named the last one like. That means we have to name this one subscribe, obviously. But yeah, that is going to do it for today. If you enjoyed, definitely make sure to go ahead and like and subscribe for both Shiny Treecko and Shiny Torchic. Sorry we didn't go for Shiny Mudkip. I already did that one testing this, like going for a warm-up like a week or so ago. But yeah, hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Definitely stay tuned for the Shiny Ralts Wild RNG that we will do on the Landon save file, and the Shiny Groudon RNG that we will do here on the Terra save file. I'm going to rename both of the profiles in PokeFinder to Landon and Terra, respectively. Yeah, no clue exactly when I'm going to put those out yet, but definitely stay tuned. And yeah, like, subscribe, leave a comment for sure. Definitely leave one if you are doing one of these RNGs as well. I would love to know that my tutorial helped people out. And yeah, make sure to hit that notification bell, share with a friend as well, so that way you know when those next two tutorials come out. And if you know anybody that might be interested in these as well, then definitely go ahead and share it with them. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and save, obviously, so we don't lose this little guy. And yeah, that is going to do it. I am going to go back up this save file now and put the other one back on. So that way I can prep for that other one, for the Ralts RNG. But yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, share with a friend, all that fun stuff. And I'll see you guys all in the next one.